Katie, welcome to the webinar.
Welcome. Thank you.
Another great day we're having. It's beautiful weather here. I hope you guys had beautiful weather down. Well, you're just getting started for the day, so hopefully you have a beautiful day.
Yeah, we're in the middle of winter here in Melbourne.
Winter. Yeah.
It's not really winter on your standards, though.
Boy, I tell you what, if our winters were as mild as what you get, but you know, it's all what you get used to, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Well, hey, your hair looks great. You've had a haircut.
I got a haircut. Yep.
Yeah, looking good. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you. So today we want to talk a little bit about the age pill.
Yeah.
Do we want to bring anybody else over to the panel? Who do we want to bring over?
We've got Rachel Lee. Is going to come on.
Rachel, I'll bring her over. And anybody else?
I've got a few slides as well. So we're going to talk to Rachel Lee today, and then we'll bring someone else on next week.
There you go. Rachel, if you want to bring yourself on, there you are.
Wow.
So everyone that's watching it, if you're not familiar, this is our friend Rachel Lee from down in Australia, and you've been a double dosing.
I have. I mean, I'm only 30, so my double dosing was 12 a day, so doing 4, 4, and 4, and I definitely felt the difference. And within 5 days, I was absolutely shocked. So I took a photo. I should have actually gave it to you, Katie, but I'll post it here if I can. But I took a photo of myself like prior and then after, and I was blown away. My skin was clearer. I've done a lot of detoxing, which obviously I've been on this product for a little while. And obviously with the challenge, I was like, oh, I wonder what it will actually do for me. So obviously started doing the double dosage, and I don't know, a lot more energy. I mean, I'm a mum of 4, mental clarity. I can go, like, I don't get a lot of sleep most nights because now he's teething, but however, I still go until 11 at night, no problems at all, mental clarity, glowing skin. I've noticed my hair's growing back a little bit. Don't know if you can tell, but when you get pregnant, you actually can lose some hair due to hormones. So notice my hair's growing back, my nails, all the beauty stuff that women truly want. Definitely noticed straight away. So I think I'll just stay on the double dosing. Definitely. I love it that much. It's really, really helped me. And I'm one that really struggles with like anxiety as well. But for some reason, I usually before a call, I get really nervous, and I'm really, really excited and passionate about sharing this because it's truly, truly helped me. And it's really, I've got a lot of people jumping on board too. So highly recommend it to anybody. Honestly, it has changed a lot for me.
Fantastic. And you said your anxiety's less. So
yes.
So it improves your mood as well.
Absolutely. Definitely a mood enhancer. I mean, even just on the normal dosage of 3 and 3 at my age, it did help, but it's definitely helped a lot more. I definitely feel a lot more calmer and happier, and and I live a pretty stressful life with all my children, but it's really, it's definitely for mood enhancing as well. So if you do struggle with, mood issues, depression, anxiety, I highly recommend it as well.
So Rachel, for those people who aren't familiar, how long have you been taking the age pill?
So I took it for about 9 months before I fell pregnant with my 4th, and then I had to stop, but I've been back on the product since March this year, and then only double dose since 2 weeks ago on the Sunday I started.
Okay. So just March of this year, you got back on the product. So you were off of it for a while.
Was for 9 months due to pregnancy. And I definitely noticed a difference when I jumped off it. My anxiety came back. I was nervous. I was just I'm usually a happy person, but I noticed a difference in my mood. My energy was still quite low. But going back on it, I feel so much better. It's my favorite.
What other products do you take? I know a lot of people, they ask me, they say, Kurt, what other products do you take besides the age pill?
So the Triangle of Life, I love the Triangle of Life. I take my Encompass 360, and I took that throughout my whole pregnancy as well, which was awesome. He's honestly the healthiest baby, no issues at all. He's thriving. What else do I take? The Sizzle Thin. So obviously I started my pre-pregnancy journey. I've already lost, I think 6 kilos, nearly back to my pre-pregnancy weight, obviously since February, March for that one. What else do I take? Oh, I love the coffee. I've just started back on the collagen about 2 days ago. I'm just a Sizzle fan.
Yeah.
I take most of the products, obviously, in all, the body wash, the hair, the toothpaste, the mouthwash, everything, because I'm, all toxic free.
Yeah, you're gonna like the new toothpaste. I got to try it. It's should be
Yeah.
out by the end of the summer, I'm hoping. But it's got a real good minty flavor. Your kids will love it. A little bit
Yum.
stronger flavor. Yeah, it tastes good, and it's got a little bit of the silver in it, the colloidal silver.
Oh, wow. So
That is-
toothpaste.
Right? And we know what the importance of silver is. It kills the bacteria and the viruses and all that stuff. And all the latest studies now that I'm reading are saying that if you can kill this virus, we won't name which one it is, but this virus, before it gets into your mouth, you lower your chances a lot because you breathe it in,
Yeah, wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's interesting because a friend of mine who does regular testing, he said that they can tell if you've got it straight away because the first place it enters is the nasal cavity. So you can do a test literally straight away. If you've breathed it in, it'll come up and show up on there. So as you said, it's really important to keep the hygiene of the mouth and the nose to protect yourself.
Yep. And it was I don't know, I guess it was about 10 years ago. I was investing in a company that was building a water filter. And they took nano colloidal silver, and they took that and they attached it to the filter particles, the paper filter particles. So the water had to pass by the silver.
Mhm.
And the reason they did that is because they found that it killed all the bacteria and viruses. So it just makes sense that if we can get this silver in our system, like Tom Jr. was saying on the call last week, it's really going to make a big difference for us.
Yeah, wow.
We can't make any claims.
No, that's right. And so, yeah, I guess we'll chuck that in there that, and anything that we're discussing today is not designed to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any disease or illness. And yes, you should consult your healthcare professional before taking a supplement if you have any medical condition or concerns. So,
before you go on, I just have to say this, Rachel. I mean, you look at yourself in the photo in your screen, and then look up in the corner at Katie up there. Doesn't she look like she's in her 30s as well?
Yes. That's why I love these products, honestly. A quick, I went to the hairdressers the other day and I took my daughter for a mummy daughter day, and the lady goes, "Oh, so is this your sister?" And I'm like, no, I'm her mother. I did have my kids quite young, but I do get mentioned a lot, for how I look, especially in person as well. And it's definitely changed me. And my sister too. We've got to get my sister on here, Brooke. She's been taking it. She's 28.
Brooke's been taking it.
Yeah, I've got her on it. Yeah. So she's turning 28,
Good.
sorry, next month. And she's obsessed too. And she's absolutely glowing, honestly.
wow.
So it's great for the young as well.
Be great to get her taking the double dose as well, Rachel.
Yes, I might ask her to actually. Let's see if she's keen for it. I think she will. And she's on the Sizzle Thin as well. And she is looking good.
And you guys are going to be excited. I was on a call earlier. I don't know if any of you were on the call earlier with Liesl, but they're putting together some packs. So you can get some special pricing on packs of products. Like there's one, like a total body health pack, and there's another one that's for working out, and they're going to have a flat $20 shipping rate, express shipping, flat $20 shipping rate.
That's exciting.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That will really help. That's great. And getting back to Rachel Lee and the 20 somethings they call it, because Rachel Lee, you only just rolled into your number 30, but we'll call you 20 something still. But the 20 somethings, that's when your skin as a young woman looks really at its best. You're in your 20s, the aging process has barely started to kick in, only starts at about 23, 24, 25, and you really appreciate having this young, youthful, glowing, beautiful skin. And there's nothing greater than to be able to keep your skin looking that way for as long as possible. And I just think that's a really good hook for the young ladies listening to this call. If you are around Rachel Lee's age or her sister's age, this product is really great for keeping the complexion looking absolutely radiant and glowing and wrinkle-free. because literally in your 20s, you barely don't have any wrinkles, but you do notice a little line here or there. Go, hang on a minute, I didn't even have one line. Now I've got a little tiny line forming. And, you know, it's all vanity, of course, but, you know, it is important, I think, to feel good about yourself no matter what. If you feel good about how you look, and, you know, it doesn't necessarily matter how you look as long as you feel good. But for young ladies particularly, that can mean a lot. And so that is a really good draw card, I think, going from the skin angle, that it really does make a difference. And I saw your photo, Rachel, and I was blown away. So we definitely want to share it. Yeah, we want to share that before and after.
I'll definitely share it. But another thing too, with obviously being younger as well, I mean, I struggle with acne really bad. So my skin prior to Sizzle was really bad. You know, my gut health was just whack. Dad used to bang on about, you know, get on the Balance D, get on. That's another product I take, actually. Forgot about that one. But I've had literally every single product I've been on, I've got a testimonial for all. Yeah, that wonderful one there, Dr. Kurt, that one literally changed my life, that Balance D and the Super Detox, if that's how you say it. Yeah, absolutely goer. And it's cleared my skin, and obviously mixed in with the age pill as well. It's like the all-rounder for what every girl desires, which is that clear skin that, you know, they hype up in the supermarkets with all their pretty packaging, and you're like, oh, I'm going to give this a go. I've spent a fortune on products in my lifetime to get that glowing, radiant skin, and now I have it, and I'm very thankful.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing, you know, I was going to point this out. You both live down in Australia. We got a lot of people that live in Australia that use the product, and your ozone is kind of blown apart down there. You've got one of the worst ozones in the world.
Yeah.
And so it allows more of the bad radiation to come down from the sun, and that's why you see so much bad skin cancer down in Australia. And we can't make any claims again about our products, so I'm going to throw that out there right away so people know that. But in the product, we've got ingredients that they've shown protect you against UV radiation. That's why so many people got excited when the science was done at Harvard on some of these ingredients, because they said, hey, we finally found a way that we're going to be able to send people into outer space, to Mars and beyond, you know, to infinity and beyond, because we can protect them from the UV radiation using this technology. Again, we can't say it about our product. You know, I don't know if Elon Musk is going to use our product when he sends his rocket up there, but who knows? Somebody should get a hold of him. Do you have any connections?
Well, you know, a lot of people don't realize, Kurt, that the higher up in the atmosphere that you go, the more harmful the UV is. And that's why even just flying on a plane, like if you're on a plane doing lots of trips, you're getting a good dose of radiation. They say, isn't it equivalent to like an X-ray or something on a world trip if you go around, you know, on a plane?
I'm trying to remember the exact figure, but I think it was, if you fly from New York to London, it's like getting 5 chest X-rays.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's how much more radiation you're getting. And you think about it, I mean, I watched the planes fly overhead. They're not that high up, and you figure wow.
Yeah. And you made that comment about, you know, the difference between the US and, you know, Australia and the hole in the ozone. It's not, you know, it's not a joke. When I was living in the US in West Virginia, and it was summer, and I was out, this is in my, I was only 18, and I was out all day in the pool in the middle of summer from, you know, the start to the end of the day, not burnt at all. Yet if we did that back home in Melbourne, Australia, you'd be absolutely roasted, bright red like a lobster. And that's when you can really notice that, hey, there is a big difference, because you don't even need protection there compared to what you did here. You know, obviously I want to wear protection no matter what now, but you could notice the difference. And so that's really important. But it makes me think of another conversation I was having this morning with a friend, and we were just talking about diet, and he was, you know, talking about all the, you know, important foods that can really help with immune system and skin and all these great foods. And I just said, you know, it's just amazing how many different foods there are, but, you know, who can eat all those foods, Kurt, in one day? It's just not possible. You just can't consume that volume of food required to get all those nutrients. And that's where, you know, supplementation can really fill those gaps, because it's just physically not possible to eat, you know, the range and amount of foods that we need, I think.
Well, and even if you try to eat that much food, the food doesn't have the nutrition in it that it did 50 years ago.
That's
Yeah,
right.
from when I was a kid. You know, Rachel, I'm twice your age. I'm 60. So,
I know.
right. So you think
Yeah,
about that. So 50 years ago, they're saying that our food had like 12 times the nutrition that it does now.
and that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay, great. Well, I've got a few slides. You know, I handpicked just a couple slides, Kurt, that I thought you might like to talk on today. And it was from you did a fantastic presentation on aging, and you put so much work into it. And there's a few slides in there that are really great. And I'm just going to bring them up. And I was thinking today it would be really great for you to do perhaps even an update on this presentation, and we could really promote it and get it out there and just include some of the latest stuff. But here, I wanted to bring up your slide too, because a lot of people listening to the call don't know much, may not know much about you, Kurt, and your skills, your training. And so I've got a slide here that I just wanted to bring up about you. Do you want to talk just to let everyone on the call know a bit about yourself?
You bet. Well, you can see I was a lot larger back then. I was 70 pounds heavier than I am right now.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? But
yeah.
So you know, I grew up in a small town up here in rural North Dakota, and my dad, he's really good with building stuff, and I decided I wanted to be an engineer, so I went to school at our local university for mechanical engineering. I got into my senior year of that, and I realized that's not really what I wanted to be. And I went on to become a chiropractor, and I practiced from you know, 88, basically, February of 88, up until my motorcycle wreck, which happened just 15 years ago. I got in a really bad motorcycle wreck. They told me I wasn't going to walk again. I spent 2 years in a wheelchair, and that's when I really decided to jump into this anti-aging. It was a relatively new science then. People were just kind of experimenting with it, and if you told people that you were doing anti-aging, they kind of gave you that look like, ooh, you're doing that. You know, what do you think, you're going to live forever? And you know, and it was just, you know, it was really just kind of frowned upon. But now it's the fastest growing branch of medicine, growing branch. And then in 2018, I started doing the patient education for 3 different stem cell clinics here in the United States. And I did that. I don't do so much of that anymore. You know, our FDA, they kind of put some kibosh to it. They put some heavy regulations on it. And so that's kind of what really gets me into Sizzle, because, you know, we've got the best anti-aging products that you can take over the counter. You don't have to have a special license. You don't have to have a special training to be able to take them. And we've got, you know, with Tom Senior, you know, I always tell people he was one of the most brilliant men that I ever met. You know, smartest people that I ever met. But his son Tom Jr. is coming up with some really good products, and he's taking the steering wheel and of that ship, you know, of the Sizzle, and boy, I tell you what, full steam ahead.
Yeah, fantastic. And so I think I've got about 5 slides. I thought I picked them out of this presentation that were relevant to today, and I thought we could go through them and share that information and talk about it, because, you know, Kurt, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, disease and illness is linked to aging, and that the older you get, the more problems you have because you're aging. And that's why, you know, typically you don't have issues when you're younger. I mean, obviously you can happen, but it's a lot less likely. We're a lot healthier when we're younger, and there's a good reason for that, isn't there?
Yeah, you know, you've got a lot more of those stem cells. You've got a lot more of that repair action. Let's just call it that repair action. All the things in your body that repair. You have a lot less cells that are going to sleep. You know, the senolytics, and you know, and so as we move forward with the science on anti-aging, they're figuring out more and more how we can make this stuff so we can get your body so it goes back and repairs. Because what happens, aging is really when your repair system is slower than your damage system. So you're damaging your body faster than it can repair. So what they're working on is how do we get those things so that your repair system can keep up to the damage that you're doing. And that's really what that's going to be the real breakthrough, is when they finally figure that out. And back when this magazine, Time magazine, came out, look at the cover. Right there on the cover, it says this baby could live to be 142 years old. That magazine came out in 2016. I remember when it was on the shelf of the store. 2016. They said any baby, like your babies, Rachel, could live to be 142 years old.
Wow.
They could. They're all on the products, so.
Yeah. And now Aubrey de Grey, one of the greatest minds in anti-aging, iconic figure in anti-aging, he said that it's quite possible that the first person to live to be 250 years old has probably already been born.
Wow.
Can you imagine that, Rachel? You're 30 years old. Can you imagine living another 220 years?
That'd be amazing. More people to impact, Dr. Kurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Absolutely. I mean, it's crazy, the stuff that we would know. And I my son, he's a medical doctor, and I remember when he was going to school for medicine, and he said, Dad, he said, why do you want to get so old? Because my goal is to live to be 110. And he said, why do you want to live to be so old? He said, people get old, they get sick, because my dad had just gotten diagnosed with cancer. My mom had some cancer. They both got some arthritis, and he just, his grandma on the other side had passed away from heart disease. And he just said, why do you want to live to be so old?
And your parents are both doing really well now, though, aren't they, Kurt?
Yeah, Dad beat cancer for the 4th time. I was just with him last night and today. We went to a car show together, and then I helped him do a few things this morning. But yeah, Dad's 85 years old, doing great. Mom's 83, doing great. A little bit of arthritis. They've got some arthritis. So
yeah, fantastic. And so we've covered this, a little bit, and this is the importance of removing that cellular gunk and servicing your car, as you like to put it.
Yeah. But I like to work on the cars and restore them. You can see that photo there of those two cars sitting there, same model, same year, and one's all beat up and the other one is pristine. It looks like brand new. And so I like to take the old beat up cars and fix them up and make them look like brand new again and drive them. I like to drive them. I don't just fix them up and look at them. I drive my car. And so that's the same thing with your body. You don't want to just look good from the outside. I mean, we see these people, these Hollywood actresses that go and get all this plastic surgery and Botox and they use all these chemicals and things like that. They look fantastic, but on the inside, they're sick. Yeah. Their whole system is falling apart because they're not repairing the system. And like that car, who knows? Looking at that photo of that car, you don't know if you could drive it. It maybe just looks good on the outside, but cars and TVs, like you get the most expensive TV, throw a rock at it, it's not going to repair itself. But your body, it's amazing. The other day, if you could see my hands from working on the cars, there's cuts and scrapes and everything like that. And every day I'm totally amazed. I can look at a cut. Like the other day, my hand was cut up so bad, I slammed a car door on it as hard as I could, not on purpose, but and blood actually squirted out from when it hit. And it was hurting so bad. And the thing is almost healed up. That was 2 days ago.
Yeah, well.
I mean, think about that. Your body heals up so fast. And then we get into these sirtuin genes, the sirtuin genes, they're the genes that tell your DNA to repair itself. And it's powered by NAD, which is one of the main things that I focus on with the age pill. And so there we go. So
yeah, NAD is the key thing here, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, because by the time you hit 50, when you get to be, my age, most people my age have lost 50% of the NAD. And I've been taking this product actually before it was developed. I started taking the ingredients before it was developed. And that was 5 years ago, plus I take the TSX, which is a telomere-based product. I take the resveratrol, which boosts those sirtuin genes. And I don't know. I should get my age checked again, my genetic age.
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, and here we've got, this is really interesting. So we talk a bit about some of the ingredients there, Dr. Kurt. I like the two little mice here that you've got on the right-hand side.
You want me to move those photos so people can see what's on the right side? There you go.
Oh, you can see? Yeah, yeah.
There,
you see me?
Yeah. So that's what nicotinamide mononucleotide does. It helps with the body weight, the energy, insulin, lipid metabolism, genetic expression, mitochondrial, which is the power plant, the nuclear power plant to your body, eye function, bone density. Speaking of eye function, boy, I tell you what, Katie, when I started taking the double dose of the H pill,
yeah,
when I first started taking the H pill, I noticed that I didn't need to wear my reading glasses anymore, but I've always had this blurriness, especially after being on a computer, especially after being on my phone, using my phone as my computer. And my eyes would go blurry and they'll stay that way. But since I started doing the double dose, that's gone.
Yeah, well, absolutely fantastic. And it just really makes a difference, because if we're talking about NAD levels, if 6, supports the body to boost that NAD, imagine what 12 does, and that's really where that comes from. And we've got niacinamide in our product, we've got niacin, and we've got ribose, and those combine together to form the NMN. Is that correct, Dr. Kurt?
You bet. Yeah.
And dosage is relevant. So if you're looking at, just because there are other, supplements on the market with the nicotinamide riboside in it, but they're quite expensive. And you were saying, and you've mentioned on a previous call, you actually have to take quite a lot to get, a good dose to have a really good impact. And, it's quite a bit. And that's why you've got there, you really would be looking at that sort of cost on the slide there. And it's still pretty costly today.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. What's the size of a gram?
Yeah, it's quite big.
I mean, it's not very much. What is it? A tablespoon?
Yeah. I mean, it's quite big in terms of the cost per gram.
Yeah. I mean, a tablespoon of nicotinamide mononucleotide ranges between $1,000 to $2,000 for a tablespoon of it.
Yeah. Wow. Because, this is one of the common questions too. People have asked, well, Kurt, why can't I just go have the injections of the NMN? And your response to that, well, have you gone and checked out the price?
Yeah.
It's really, really expensive. So,
plus there's not many clinics that actually do it.
Yeah. So it's really, about economy, being economic. And, our product, as we said, you do get great results on 6, but if you're on the call today, if you're listening to us, have a go at taking the 12. As Rachel Lee pointed out, she takes hers 4, 4, and 4. That's what I do too. I'll take 4 as soon as I get up, and then 4 before lunch, and 4 before dinner. So I just really, it makes a big difference. And I just think we need all the help we can get, Dr. Kurt, as we're getting older.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that people asked me is they said, okay, so you recommend the double dose. What's the safety factor of it? Well, and I don't know where I did a slide on it at one time, but the safety factor on nicotinamide mononucleotide, nicotinamide riboside, there was a doctor down in Iowa at the University of Iowa Medical Center, and he said you couldn't consume enough. I mean, you'd have to consume like a bucket full in order to potentially have any issues with too much. And he said then even at that dosage, he didn't think that there would be too much. So your stomach would be full before you'd have too much.
Yeah, and it is. We've got they're water soluble, so your system's flushing it through. So, everybody's different with the dose. And so, you can, if you have concerns, ease into it, try on a lower dose and then increment up. That's what I did. When I first started, Kurt, I was very nervous, and this is going back way when it came out, and I only took 2 initially, and I actually felt the benefit from 2 straight away, like how I felt. It made me feel happier. I felt the mood enhancement. But gee, when I went up to the higher dose, wow, just some amazing things, as Rachel Lee's pointed out, the hair, the skin, really just coming on quickly. Now, did I notice that on the 6? Yes, but not at the rate as the 12. And I think we've covered this already today, haven't we? We've talked about going to space into space and the mission to Mars, which they want to do obviously in the future, and they're working towards that. But these are the sorts of ingredients and things that they're seriously looking at incorporating in their program for the astronauts.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's all I had to show for today. And those were great slides that you put together back then. I would love for you to do an update on that presentation, because you're keeping up to date with all the anti-aging stuff. It would be great to have another one of those.
I'll go back and look at it and I'll pull it out. If you can, send me a copy of it, because I don't know, because I was using a different computer then.
Okay, I've got a copy. I've got all your slides. Yeah, I keep everything.
Send them over to me, because like I said, I'd have to dig out my old computer and I'd have to send them to myself in order to have them.
Oh, I'll send it. So yeah, we're just on the half hour there. So next week we'll have someone else on sharing their testimonial. And I'm super excited to hear about Mike's update, because you sent him that age pill bottle, if you've listened to, and hopefully everyone on the calls heard his testimonial from the previous week and his update, and how it's really been life-changing for him. So just a fantastic product. And yeah, so I guess we'll leave it there. Is there anything else you want to say in closing?
I just want to say thanks for the two of you for jumping on today. And Rachel, thanks for sharing your story. I'm glad that you went on the double dose, because I know you were a little skeptical.
I was a little bit. I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But best thing I ever did. I won't stop now. I'll just stay on the double.
And and I tell people, because lots of people are skeptical, they say, oh, should I do that? And I always tell people, don't let the skepticism stand in front of your progress.
Yeah.
Because you might, what you might try might turn out to be the best thing you ever did. Like you said, you're not going to go back now.
Absolutely not. Best thing I ever did was join this company and these products. Honestly, it's changed my life. So good.
All right. Well, thank you, Rachel, Katie.
Thanks, Kurt. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, everyone, for jumping on.
Exactly.
Appreciate you watching the recording. Appreciate you getting on. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.